episode 524 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I will be talking about NXT Halloween Havoc Week 1, where we saw a lights out match, the NXT Women's Championship on the line, and more, right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Happy early Halloween, Wrestling Fanatics. Right here on this Tuesday night episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Halloween starts a week early with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc Week 1. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Also, after I recap tonight's Night 1 of Halloween Havoc, also going to talk about all the news going on in the world of pro wrestling, including an interview that Impact Wrestling released today on their social media, and everything that Tom Hannafin included, and sorry, I don't know what's wrong. I can't talk. Interview that Tom Hannafin conducted with Impact Wrestling President Scott D'Amore, talking all about January 13, 2024, the return of TNA Wrestling, and much more, which was a pretty interesting conversation. I definitely recommend you checking that out. It's available, I believe, all Impact social media platforms, plus Impact Wrestling's video podcast. That interview is available there as well, and I'm sure it's on Impact's YouTube channel as well. And now let's get into WWE NXT Halloween Havoc 2023, live from the Capitol Wrestling Center at the WWE Performance Center. Our commentators tonight: Vic Joseph and Booker T. And was hosted by Shotzi and somebody else. I'm not sure who, but they did the spin the wheel, make a deal thing. Who was it? I don't know, somebody in Shotzi Blackheart. And started off with a performance of a band that I've never heard of before. They definitely weren't too bad though. But we kick things off with the in-ring action. Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen defeating Taven Heights and Riley Osborne. Roxanne Perez defeating Kiana James in a spin the wheel, make the deal, which was a Devil's Playground match. 10 minutes, 51 seconds. And we get the WWE NXT debut of Brian Pillman Jr., now known as Lexis King, defeating Dante Chen, 4 minutes, 12 seconds. Impressive debut of Brian Pillman Jr. I know he's not going by that name anymore, but I have to admit, I was always impressed with Brian Pillman Jr. when he was in AEW. His run with Griff Garrison, the team of the Varsity Blondes, them and Julia Hart before she joined up with the House of Black, and I thought they were good together for a while, even though I do enjoy Julia Hart better with the House of Black now. And also Kalani Jordan defeated Ariana Grace. That name always reminds me of Days of Our Lives because of Gabby's daughter. In the NXT Breakout Tournament semifinals, 7 minutes, 35 seconds. Chase University, Andre Chase and Duke Hale, with Thea Hale and JC Jane in their corner, defeat the family to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, 11 minutes, 19 seconds. And I thought this one was kind of funny, actually. Spin the wheel, make the deal. We knew already it was going to be a lights out match. Now, I know they didn't build this up like AEW does as a lights out non-sanctioned match. You know, these are the ones AEW does. They save for the end of the match, and then they stop the show, turn the lights off in the show because it's non-sanctioned. They did say lights out, but like I said, they did not actually call this unsanctioned or anything. So I didn't really like this match. Blair Davenport defeated Gigi Dolan, 12 minutes, 32 seconds. And to me, this was just kind of a silly gimmick. The lights were just out, and just, like I said with AEW, at least it's treated like a match that you're not really supposed to be seeing, unsanctioned. They turned all the lights off. They actually act like they're ending the show, and then that is the last match on the card. So, as far as lights out matches go, I think AEW does a much better. Lola Vice defeated Carmen Pichakoff in the Women's Breakout Tournament. And for the NXT Women's Championship in the main event, Lyra Valkyria defeated Becky Lynch to win the NXT Women's Championship. 16 minutes, 6 seconds. And good main event. I wasn't really surprised to see Becky Lynch drop the NXT Women's Championship tonight here at Halloween Havoc. I was kind of surprised to see her keep it as long as she has. But next week, the Women's Breakout Tournament continues. Kalani Jordan taking on Lola Vice. Mr. Stone taking on Braun Breaker. The Creed Brothers taking on Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. in a spin the wheel like the TLC's match. Dirty Dominic Mysterio will be on hand to defend the NXT North American Championship against Nathan Frazier. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line. Chelsea Green taking on Piper Niven. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven taking on Thea Hale and JC Jane, who unfortunately are still a part of Chase U for some strange reason. Tiffany Stratton taking on Phelan Henley. Sorry. And we got the NXT Championship on the line. Carmelo Hayes challenging and hopefully becoming NXT champion once again, taking on Ilya Dragunov. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Dragunov. I've said it before on the podcast. He just doesn't do anything for me, and I usually try to keep things more positive here on the podcast about pro wrestling. I don't want to be one of those negative wrestling fans on the internet, but Ilya Dragunov's just, I'm sorry, but he bores me. I really see nothing in the character. Not a fan of it at all. I know he's very popular. A lot of people like him. Dave Meltzer is a big fan of him. But me, to be honest, I just see nothing in him. Again, I apologize if you do like Dragunov. And I want to go over an interview real quick that Impact Wrestling released today. Tom Hannafan interviewed, as of right now, Impact Wrestling president, and in a couple months, TNA Wrestling president Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore talked about the change from Impact to TNA Bound for Glory, and he pretty much said that the locker room, the only ones that knew about it were the ones in that pre-recorded video. Everybody else pretty much found out that when the announcement was made, and I give them a lot of credit, because Scott D'Amore said that this was actually been being planned in the beginning of the year, 2003. And in 2023, for something to be planned and talked about and not get leaked online somehow, at least not any rumors about it anyway, is pretty surprising. But yes, it was talked about one time, 2020, when they were going to do that special TNA show, I believe WrestleMania weekend. There's No Place at Home, I believe it was going to be called. But then COVID happened, and then it wasn't able to take place. Because if you remember, that was the time they were even using the TNA World Championship. Moose was calling himself the real TNA World Champion. And unfortunately, because of COVID, that angle didn't really get to go anywhere. And also, if you're hoping to see the return of the six-sided ring, Scott D'Amore officially said that is not going to happen, which to me is not a surprise. I know the wrestlers, the performers, actually like the four sides better because it's easier to bump on. The six-sided ring, much smaller, more beams, I think they said, and it's harder to bump on. I even heard AJ Styles say in an interview before that when Impact first, when Hogan and Bischoff came into TNA, and they switched back to the four-sided ring, And he said bumping in it, the difference between the 6-sided ring and a 4-sided ring, when they started using the 4 sides again, was like bumping on a cloud pretty much compared to the 6-sided ring. So, and Scott D'Amore really brought up a good point. Yes, I'm sure some of the fans, there is part of me that would like to see the 6-sided ring come back. I would, but hey, I'm just at home watching. I'm not in there taking bumps. I'm here in the comfort of my own home, just enjoying the show. And they're the ones that are in there, in the ring, taking the bumps, putting their bodies, careers, and lives on the line. So, I'm not going to blame them or get mad, upset about them not wanting to compete in the 4-sided ring rather than the 6-sided ring. And so fans, that's all for 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Coming this week, I don't usually do this too often. I normally don't announce what the episode of Anything Goes is before I record it. But this week, coming up this Thursday, 4 p.m., is the special Halloween episode. Since this will be the last Thursday before Halloween, I just didn't want to record it too soon ahead of time before Halloween, but I will definitely hope to plan on recording it before Thursday at 4 p.m. I know I only have a couple days left, so that's coming soon. Not going to say too much about it, just going to say it's the Halloween episode, first ever Halloween episode of Anything Goes. So hope you tune in for that. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can also leave your feedback for tonight's NXT Halloween Havoc 2023 Week 1. Also, hopefully I'll be here in the morning for 360 Wrestling Fanatic. 360 Good Morning Wrestling fans. And preview tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite. And then be here tomorrow night for 360 Wrestling Fanatic and talk about Dynamite. From tomorrow night. And sorry everyone, my voice, I don't know if I'm losing it or what, why I'm recording right now. Another reason why I'm not recording tonight, why I haven't recorded yet, my voice still not 100%. I apologize for that, but I hope to be back tomorrow to talk about AEW Dynamite and Good Morning Wrestling fans in the morning. And until I talk to you then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.